This is your number one source for all things comics, movies, and pop culture. It's Geek Week with Chris and Nick.
You're tuned into Geek Week.
I'm Chris and Tally.
And I'm Nick Rotundo.
To all those listening, thank you for joining our discussion.
And if you would like to hear any of our old episodes, be sure to check out our YouTube account, which is posted on our Facebook account at www.facebook.com/geekweek885.
And be sure to check out our Instagram account at geekweek885.
Now we bring you Dave's Picks of the Week. Dave is the owner of Comics on the Green in Scranton. If you are ever in the area, be sure to stop in, especially coming soon with Free Comic Book Day. They have a great selection of back issues, graphic novels, action figures, and so much more.
And right now we're getting to Dave's Picks, Flash number 21. It is the Button Part 2. The cataclysmic events of DC Universe Rebirth number 1 continue here. The Dark Knight and the Fastest Man Alive, the two greatest detectives on any world, unite to explore the mystery behind a certain blood-stained smiley button embedded in the Batcave wall. What starts as a simple investigation turns deadly when the secrets of the button prove irresistible to an unwelcome third party, and it's not who anyone suspects. It's a mystery woven through time, and the ticking clock starts here. This is written by Joshua Williamson and drawn by Howard Porter. That sounds pretty amazing to me. I love Rebirth number 1, so I'm excited to see these, and I can't wait to pick them up. The next one we have is Britannia, We Who Are About to Die, number 1 out of 4. Dave said that he really enjoyed the first series. It was a nice mix of historical fiction and supernatural fun, so if that's your thing, go pick it up. This issue is written by Peter Milligan and drawn by Juan Jose Rip, and it is about its Valiant's critically acclaimed 10 times sold out magnum opus returns with a brand new journey into myth and mystery from comics master Peter Milligan and ancillary artist Juan Jose Rip. 50,000 Romans stand on their feet watching from the rafters of the Colosseum with captured breath as Achilles, a gladiator unlike any that the Rome has seen before, faces incredible odds. One lone warrior against 5 of Rome's greatest. Such is the tradition when a female gladiator enters the fray. When the carnage is complete, the Colosseum roars its approval as Achilles stands victorious. Now only one match away from winning her freedom, she has begun to gain renown. The women of Rome, suppressed by their husbands and fathers, have noticed. The men of Rome, husbands and fathers to a growing horde of women entertaining ideas of independence, have noticed as well. On the other side of Rome, a strange mystery swirls through the Palatine Hill. In the dead of night, down winding alleys, Rome's elite swear they see visions of a blood-soaked Apollo walking the city. Visions that are driving them mad. Even more are becoming sick with weird fever god dreams. Panic ensues in the city. The chief Vestal, Rubria, is arrested by Emperor Nero and threatened with crucifixion unless the deadly curse that's fallen on Rome is lifted. She asks Antonius Axia, hero of Britannia, and Rome's only detective, for help. She offers only one clue: the gladiator Achilles.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I read the first issue of this series. Dave recommended it, and it was really interesting. And it's cool because how they tied like the historical kind of fiction into it. And I do agree with him. It was pretty fun and pretty interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm a big history nut myself, so I mean, I love like anything to do with like old school wars and stuff like that, learning about that. So adding supernatural stuff to it, I mean, come on. Can it get any better?
Yeah, just the vision of a blood-soaked Apollo walking the city is just like it sends chills up your spine a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So today's topic was chosen by you, our fans, on our Facebook poll. The choices were top 5 most infamous villains in pop culture, our pop culture bucket lists, and our pop culture summer vacation spots. So as voted by you guys, this week's top topic is our pop culture summer vacation spots. This is a lot of fun. Nick and I had a lot of fun with this. And, I got a little mad at him here and there for what he chose, but I'm sure you guys are going to kick out of it. We're going to get right into my picks. The first pick I picked was Central City. And you guys are probably wondering, that sounds pretty nice. Well, the Flash lives there. You got Star Labs there, the Flash Museum. Like, I would be pretty much a tourist because I would probably be going to the Flash Museum, buying all the merchandise and everything else. But even though it's like you see the Flash, like see fighting bad guys and everything, it still looks like a fun place to visit. And I'm sure the city is kept safe regardless. And just from seeing it on like the Flash TV show and things like that, I mean, I'd like to go there.
Yeah, I mean, not just the tourist attractions. I'm sure the food is amazing too. I mean, they got Big Belly Burger, and they have CC Jitters if you want your coffee.
I've always wanted to know what Big Belly Burger was like. I was like, oh god, is it different than what we have? Like,
it's probably In-N-Out, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like
it'd be like In-N-Out if you go to like California and get In-N-Out.
Hey man, I don't know. I'm just saying I want to try. It's probably like Burger King in a bag, but like, and they literally just put Burger King in a Big Belly bag. It's fine. All right, we're getting to our next one. Someplace I'd love to go to, Atlantis. So as long as I have gills for a short time or a breathing device, I'm sure I'd be good. So I wouldn't have to come up for air and go back down or whatever. This doesn't mean this has to be in the DC universe. It could be the one from Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which is a really great movie. If you haven't seen it, Disney movie, fantastic. Really loved just what they did with Atlantis in there. And it'd be cool to see how they lived underwater, how the building structures looked, etc. And just, I guess the scenery would be the best part of it. I don't know, seeing a bunch of fish I've never seen before, or just seeing people interact that I've never seen before. It would be really cool to see.
I agree on that. I feel like underwater, I mean, we've seen so many movies. I mean, I hate to bring this up, but Star Wars Episode 1 had an underwater city, Atlantis in both Aquaman and, as you said, Atlantis, the Lost Empire. I mean, you got to wonder, what would it be like? The structures, we look at Italy, and it's they had these Renaissance type structures or Gothic structures. So it'd be really cool to see. I would agree with that. I would want to see that too.
I think it'd be just really cool to be a part of that. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Gungans and all that from episode 1, but it's funny because I'm getting into my next pick, which is Naboo. And these actual locations of Naboo are Seville, Spain, and Lake Como in northern Italy, which I thought was really interesting. This is where Anakin and Padme go to retreat, and it was beautiful. Besides that scene where Anakin talks about sand and
it's coarse, it's rough, and it gets everywhere.
I just can't. I'm like, dude, you're from Tatooine and you hate sand. That's
more the reason to leave.
I know. It's just I don't even know. There was just the dialogue was just so poor. I don't know. Anyway, it's inhabited by peaceful people and unfortunately the Gungans. Not a big fan of Jar Jar Binks. I'm not a big fan of them in general. I just don't they went up against a bunch of battle droids in episode 1, and I was like, you guys are. They're getting murdered out there. They were just not having it until the droids got shut down. And it was just oh boy, these people. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of those guys. Besides them, this place is pretty great. The scenery is beautiful. One scene Anakin was riding this weird cow-like creature, which was awesome. And I don't know. There's waterfalls in the background and stuff. It just looks like a great place to go on vacation to me.
Oh yeah, I agree on that.
My other pick as far as Star Wars is Cloud City. And it's guys, you're visiting that place that Luke confronted his father, lost his hand in that iconic scene in Empire Strikes Back. Do I really need to say anything else of why I want to go on vacation here? There's no other. It's a better version of Atlantic City in the sky. It has casinos, hotels, the works. And I could meet Lando Calrissian if I were to go into that time or whatever. And the only thing I'd be worried about is if he doesn't sell me out to Vader, and I hate to be that guy who that happens to. But yeah. Anyway, other than that, Cloud City would be great. It's just a city in the sky.
Honestly,
and that's just, to me, that's interesting.
Honestly, remember that movie Sky High?
Yeah,
it reminded me so much of Cloud City. I'm sure they took that from that, but it'd be great to go to a place just floating in the sky. Who would not want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would be worried about is my fear of heights, but at the same time, I wouldn't go to the edge and look down because it's just it's you're asking for it there. I would kind of just stay in the city area and see what happens. My last pick is Saffron City in Pokemon.
Yes.
I can't remember. It was in the Pokemon cartoon series. And I love big cities and nightlife. I love going to New York and stuff. It's just so much fun going to New York Comic Con. And speaking of that, imagine New York Comic Con in this city. I think it'd be amazing. My friend Chris Atienza pointed this out to me, and I was just oh my god, that would be the greatest thing ever. This city's so nice, and the skyline is awesome for this city, and comic shops here would be fantastic. Think about underground comic shops. What? Underground comic shops? I would be in paradise, man. I would just be living up there. And then you got psychic Pokemon, meeting Sabrina. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think Sabrina was pretty cool. The only thing I'd be worried about is being turned into a doll in her mini town because That's actually ridiculously terrifying, and
I agree.
I wasn't
Nope.
a big fan of the plastic cake and all the other stuff that they had in the town. It just kind of scared me. But other than that, she was cool. I like Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam, and I didn't say that on purpose. That's just the Pokemon names. I like all those guys. So, Saffron City would be a lot of fun, and these places are just definitely I could see going on vacation in the summer or whenever. They're just a lot of fun there.
Out of the 5, is there one that you would want to go to the most?
Ooh. I'm gonna say Atlantis. I just think Atlantis is interesting. It's different from everything else. It's underwater. It's just different people. I'm sure they have different values and everything else from us, and they're just completely different. I feel like it'd be interesting if I go to Atlantis in the DC universe. I can meet Aquaman and Mira and all them. And I would have a lot of fun there. Or I can go to the Atlantis in the movie, The Lost Empire, the Disney movie, and they have really cool ships and stuff you could fly, and really cool kinds of fish and stuff from what I remember. So either way, I'd have a good time. I would just try not to get eaten. That would be pretty much my goal.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that. Looking at your list, Central City's right up there as well. I'm a big Flash fan as well from the TV show and everything.
I think Atlantis is just different from cities.
Exactly.
These are cities. You can go to a city any day, anytime, any day, but you can't just go to Atlantis anytime you feel like it. And Naboo is in Spain and Italy. You can go to those places too. They're not you can't get there, and Cloud City a little hard to get to, but I feel like I'd like to be closer to the ground because of my height thing. So Atlantis would be perfect for me because I wouldn't have to worry about falling at all. That's just Atlantis for me, man. And it's funny because I just did an Aquaman presentation in class today and everything on the Throne of Atlantis movie. So I'm kind of in an Atlantis mood. I don't know.
I agree on that. I can see that. I would say this though: if you go to Central City, there's a chance you could be turned into a metahuman, though.
But would that... Well, that's... Okay, that's if I'm going to Central City and the particle accelerator is going off. But I don't want to be one of those, lame superhuman people that have, these...
I can go in mirrors. I'm Mirror Master.
Okay. Well, his is cool to an extent, but, his name could use some work, but... I don't know. I just don't want to be that guy that I could refill my soda. You want to see me do it? I want to see you do it again?
Boom.
I don't want to. I took that from Doctor Strange when Doctor Strange filled up Thor's beer, and over and again, and Thor's just really enjoying that. That's where I got that from. But I just want really cool power, guys. I don't know if I go to Central City and I get hit by that. That's what I want. Something cool, probably electricity powers or something like that. It'd be cool to be like the guy from Infamous.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think Central City. If you met Barry Allen, I mean, obviously, if it were to exist, I'm sure you wouldn't know Barry Allen is, the Flash, but it'd still be cool
to meet the Flash.
Oh
in
yeah.
general, even if even if I didn't know who he was, and just go to the museum and stuff, because it'd be cool to see a bunch of stuff that Flash has either touched or whatever, just kind of little. Souvenirs and stuff. That'd be really cool. I don't know. I'd enjoy it so much.
And I like that nice little reference to the Young Justice souvenir.
Yeah, that was exactly. I'd be exactly was it Gar? Is it Gar with the souvenirs, or was it Wally?
Originally it was Wally, and then season 2 they made it Gar, who Garth is Beast Boy. Yeah. Well, I like both those characters a lot, so I'd probably like them and want to get souvenirs from all that stuff. So oh yeah,
if I can go to every city and get at least one souvenir, I'd be happy.
And speaking of which, a live action Titans and a animated the season 3 for the animated series Injustice is going to be coming out
on the DC streaming service in 2018. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Dude, I am looking forward to it. I'm glad they're doing a live action Titans series. I was really happy. I was okay, they crossed it off for a while, but now they're getting back into it. When I saw this yesterday, I was oh, I'm so pumped. Teen Titans, grew up with them, love them. Not Teen Titans Go, but the original Teen Titans cartoon. That was my stuff. And so is Young Justice. Such a great series, guys. If you haven't watched either one of them, sit down, go to Kiss Cartoon or something like that, and watch the series. It's great. And, I loved it a lot. Character development and the content and the plot. Very good stuff. At least for Young Justice, I really liked their storyline and everything. I think they did really well bringing all the characters together and the villains and things like that and incorporating all of them. So
Yeah, you got me hooked on Young Justice, and honestly, like, finished the entire thing. I binged watched that thing, dude. It was fantastic. I love that show, and now I can't wait for season 3. But honestly, with that, I cannot wait for season 3. It's called Outsiders, right?
Yeah, it's called Outsiders.
So season 3 was Outsiders. 2 was what? Was that Invasion?
Yeah, 2 is Invasion. Yeah.
Which was really cool. I liked that one. And of course, so heartbroken with the with how season 2 ended. So I'm very excited to see how they're going to, continue on in season 3.
I just hope they're as good as season 1 and 2. Personally, like, for me, like, Young Justice since season 1 has, like, season 2, it got so much better and so much more intense. And guys, I can't recommend that enough. Like, I binge watched the first season, like, when my friend told me it was on Netflix, like, when it came out years ago. And then when season 2 was out, I was like, I need to watch this. And, me and my girlfriend watched the series, really love it. And you really, like, feel for certain characters. Like, Wally West is my boy. Like, that's my guy right there. Really like him.
But yeah, dude. For me, I was always a big Dick Grayson fan. But dude, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but Aqualad was really cool how they did that story. I was a big Superboy fan too for a while.
Well, Noah North, yeah. Noah North is an awesome Superboy, and, like, I like Superboy, and I think it was just funny because he's like, his rage and stuff. Seeing him as a Red Lantern would be insane.
Oh yeah.
But then again, like, even he has a fear of being Superman, so that's like, even seeing him with Yellow Ring would be fine too. Either one would be really cool to see. But yeah, Superboy's cool. Definitely like those guys.
So my choices for this week, which is my top 5, favorite places to go for pop culture summer vacation spots. Things that don't exist in real life that would be cool to go to. Well, first one, Chris is gonna make me so much fun of me right now. Mustafar, guys. I gotta go to Mustafar in episode 3, that lava planet. I gotta get a tan. Chill out by the tiki bar. If you haven't seen the MTV Awards sketch that Jimmy Fallon did back in the day, as he played Anakin in episode 3, talking to Natalie Portman's Padme, saying, "Oh, it'll be great for the baby. We'll build a tiki crib by the lava. We'll have a crib right next to our bedside. We'll be able to get a great view of the lava. It'll be great." So get a tan, man.
Do you hear that, guys? That's the sound of exasperation coming from me because I don't know what to say to any of this. I don't know. Like, Mustafar is a terrible place, dude. It was just like, this is where, like, Darth Vader was created, and this is where his limbs got cut off, and, like, he got burned to death by the lava. Like, this is a terrible place to go on vacation. Why would you do this to yourself?
Hey.
You must want one heck of a tan, and by tan, I mean your skin melted off, cleared off your bones. Like, Jesus.
It'd be a day trip. You go for one day, you get a tan, chill out by the tiki bar, and then, go back home. Get a nice little tan.
Yeah, I'm glad it's a day trip and not like a weekend trip, because that would be, that's, you'd be writing your will on Saturday and, dying on Sunday. And, oh, God.
What is this, a Solomon Grundy reference now?
No, I wasn't even thinking Solomon. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking Solomon Grundy, but that's funny that it worked out like that. Speaking of Solomon Grundy, where's your next pick, Nick, huh?
Well, the next pick is Gotham City. Now, Chris, I know you're a big Batman fan, but you didn't pick it. Well, this city is crime-ridden. But you know what? There's an upside to it. Get adopted by Batman, man.
Batman doesn't just go out and adopt kids randomly. It's like, though that kid's by himself with no parents or anything, even though they probably don't know that he has parents, or they look at you and they're like, oh, do I want to take Nick Rotundo under my wing?
Yes. Look at Tim Drake. He was the first person to realize Bruce Wayne is Batman. It's not that hard.
All right, comparing yourself to Tim Drake is a little bit of a stretch there, because Tim Drake is pretty damn intelligent.
Okay, I agree on that. I will agree on that.
He's pretty brilliant.
But it's not that hard. It's not that hard to go, you know what? Batman's got a lot of money to be able to afford all these gadgets and, the car and the suit of armor.
Yeah, but if like we did the like Men in Black thing where we wiped your memory clean and we sent you to Gotham, you really think you'd figure out who Batman was?
If I knew who Bruce Wayne was, yeah.
I feel like that's a little far-fetched, but I guess we'll go with it.
So I could be Robin.
This is the Robin from the Lego Batman movie, not the Robin.
Oh, jeez, come on.
Because Nick has glasses and everything, and so does that Robin, and he's a huge nerd. So I think he'd be that Robin more or less. But I even feel like that's.
I'd be a whole new Robin.
I'd
be a Robin that is completely armored head to toe, so I wouldn't get hurt. We'd be good.
What's your next pick?
So the next pick. Kind of coincides with an old school TV show that I grew up watching because of my parents. Mostly it was on Boomerang. It used to be on Cartoon Network back in the day. But it's not just that town. It's that whole universe. Bedrock, guys. Go see the Flintstones. I mean, you go away from social media and society for a little bit. Sometimes you need a little break from that. So you go to Bedrock. And not only that, but you can travel to different places inside of, the universe of Bedrock. I mean, they have that Rock Vegas. You can go to Las Vegas in the Bedrock universe. You can meet a Fred. You can hang out with friendly dinosaurs who are used for jobs like, playing a record or doing a bunch of other stuff. It'd be great.
For meals, you'd have a huge piece of meat on a bone or whatever, and it'd be fantastic.
It'd be like going to medieval times, dude.
See, that medieval times and Bedrock, you're funny.
Well, I mean, the meat on a giant bone.
the big turkey leg or whatever it is, that'd be fun. I'm not gonna lie, Bedrock would be interesting to say the least, considering you have to move your cars with your feet instead of like actually pressing a pedal or anything. So that'd be a lot of fun. And even dinosaurs are cool, like Jurassic Park, guys. Come on, dinosaurs.
As long as they're
awesome.
Friendly dinosaurs, that's all I care about.
Well, yeah, if you run into the dinosaur from Jurassic World, you might run into a lot of.
I'm good. That is not one place I will be going. I will take my money elsewhere. But no. So the next place is another TV show that has been around for a really long time. I'm going to Springfield, guys. Obviously, you could tell from the Green Day cover that we played, but I could get into hijinks with Bart Simpson. Prank calls and skateboarding with him, seeing a bunch of different places around Springfield. That would be really cool. The statue in the city hall, in the city square, the burning tire mountain in the dump. I mean, comic book guys, comic book shop. What's not to love here, guys? I mean, Homer's office at the nuclear power plant. And yes, I am 22, so Homer could take me to Moe's, home of the Flaming Moe.
Oh my gosh,
it'd be a great.
It would be a fun time. I used to play the Simpsons, the arcade game, where you could be whichever Simpson you wanted to be, and you go through and just beat up a bunch of people. I love those kind of games, guys. That game, especially for me, hits home, and I always played that whenever I went to the arcade when I was younger. So
I remember
it's a good choice, Nick.
That was a great game. But yeah, no, honestly, I think. Out of all of these, this would be on the top 2 to pick, where I'm going out of my top 5. But I mean, Springfield's awesome, and I could always just chill with Homer. And as he said in the Family Guy Simpsons crossover, these are my albino friends because everybody's yellow in Springfield.
Spider Pig does whatever
please.
A Spider Pig does. Can he swing from a tree? No, he can't because he's a Spider Pig. Anyway, I had to throw that in there because when I watched the Simpsons movie, I died and I couldn't handle it. That was so good. That was great, and it makes Nick feel uncomfortable. Hence, why his very short, limited response right now.
Worst response ever, in the words of Comic Book Guy. But no. So finally, my last pick. This is coming out of the MCU. This would be amazing to do because I mean, who wouldn't want to do this? Hanging out with Thor in Asgard. I mean, look, Thor would protect you from any, the frost giants and Loki's tricks. But you know what? Partying with gods and Vikings, what's not to love? As said in Thor 1, when he's in the diner, you smash the cup, you go another. I mean, it's just to be a big party.
It would be a big party. And Asgard does look like a fun place, and I'm like a big fan of like the whole Norse mythology thing. I think it's really cool. And
Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, I try to chat up a conversation with Heimdall and like see if he'd actually talk to me or just stand there with like the sword and like not say a word. I don't know. Maybe he would, but like I think that's me just like low key trying to meet Idris Elba. But yeah, it'd be really cool to meet Loki. Like, you know, I think Loki's like an interesting like character or whatever. I'm sure he would try to trick me whenever he got a chance, and probably not like me as much because Loki doesn't like anybody. So
very true. Unless you undyingly, you know, say, Loki, you are my master, that kind of thing, then I'd see him, you know, joining your side. But you know, I would not do that. Thor's cooler. What can I say?
Well, I don't know about all that, but.
Oh, come on, the God of Thunder.
I know, but I've always been more of a Loki guy, even from Avengers. Like I just thought like Loki's a good villain, mostly because of Tom Hiddleston. He's a great actor.
Yeah, that guy's amazing.
And like to me, he plays Loki really well, and like I love his Loki. So I've always been more interested in Tom Hiddleston's Loki, like compared to like Chris Hemsworth's Thor. But that's just me. You know, never been a big Avengers guy, but yeah.
But yeah, so I would definitely pick that place as well. As for what would my favorite one be, like what would I definitely go see out of the five if I had to pick one, that'd be difficult. It'd be between Springfield and Asgard. I feel like mostly because, you know, there'd be more experiences there compared to like the other places. But as for having to choose one, that's tough. I mean, what would you choose, Chris, between Springfield and Asgard?
I feel like this is going back to like I feel like Springfield. There are places like that, you know. It's not like the only place that's
Very
like
true.
this. So Asgard for me would be a lot of fun because it'd be a world that I don't even know anything about. Like, and I would be able to learn and like see what kind of animals and stuff they had there. See what kind of like different people meet, like Civ, Thor, and the gang, and even if I could meet like the Odin or whatever, that'd be cool too, and just kind of party with them. And I think it'd be a lot more like just a different atmosphere than you would go if you go to Springfield, like a normal city kind of thing, you know?
Yeah,
I just think Asgard and Atlantis both are interesting in their own right.
I think I'm gonna have to choose Asgard then, you know, because like you said, you know, it's something entirely, you know, unique. You'd never like have the same experience anywhere else. I mean, if you had to pick out of my five, what would be the place you go to? Out
of your five,
Mustafar, Gotham City.
I'm not going to Mustafar. I don't. There's no way you could pay me enough to go there. I wouldn't go to Gotham either. Surprisingly, I mean, I am a Batman fan and everything. You know, I mean, I would definitely go to Asgard and I would definitely go to Bedrock because those are just two different I don't really like two different places that you just don't know much about, and you've never lived like we've never lived in that kind of like period in time or whatever. We never lived in those kind of places, so they'd be a lot of fun, I think, you know. And granted, we don't have social media or anything like that, but I think, you know, social media is good to get away from a bit from time to time, like getting away from your phone and stuff. So I think, like, you know, using like manpower to go through cars and like use your feet to go through cars and stuff and like get giant like turkey leg things and like things like that. I would just be in heaven, man.
Riding down the back of a dinosaur,
yeah,
screaming
what's
yabba
not
dabba
to love?
doo.
Yeah, yabba dabba doo, and just like it'd be great.
Oh man, yeah, but no, I remember like my parents showing me the Flintstones and stuff, and just growing up with like old school cartoons. That's probably why I'm like more into the stuff that like my parents listened to, like music wise, and what I grew up watching and stuff like that. You know, it's honestly, I have to admit, most of the stuff that they grew up with is better than what we grew up with.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of the '90s. I'm a big fan of '90s stuff. Like that's what I
music wise, it's '80s though for me. Like if I had to choose.
Yeah, I mean, music wise, I'm not really a big music connoisseur or anything like that. Like I kind of listen to whatever anybody like says. Oh, you should listen to this and stuff like that. I kind of just take whatever recommendations I can get. But as far as like cartoons and stuff, like I'm more of a '90s kid, and I always will be. And you know, I love all the '90s cartoons. Hey Arnold, Cat Dog, things like that, like on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, like Ed, Ed and Eddie and things like that. Like I would always watch those when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
And like I would wrap my brain on cartoons, guys, because that's the kind of kid I was. I didn't like to go out and play. I'd rather sit and watch like the Teen Titans or Ed and Eddie or something like that, and just like hang out, because those are just the stuff Samurai Jack, stuff I enjoyed. So there you have it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I did grow up with a lot of 90s cartoons and stuff like that. I think Cat Dog was one of my favorites. SpongeBob came a little bit later, but that was a huge thing. And I mean, all the 90s cartoons.
Wild Thornberrys.
Dude, Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy. There's a bunch. I can list
all
them.
that
Courage
was,
the Cowardly Dog.
Well, all that was live action, but that was great too. And, that brought in Keenan and Kel. And then, of course, you have like
All That. That was cool too. All That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But what was the one with the comic book and the action figures?
Comic book and the action.
Remember
figures.
that? It was like Kablam. I remember Kablam.
Barely.
It was like it was like a show that had a bunch of different like skits put into it, but they were all animated cartoons and stuff. And one of them was action figures, and it was Action League Now. And it was like melting man with the power to melt.
Oh, I remember Kablam now. I'm looking at it now, and I'm just like,
yeah, I remember that. That was probably one of my favorites growing up. But like throwing back to like the 80s and stuff like that. I mean, like Looney Tunes, man. I mean, like all that stuff. Like I was
watching Looney Tunes like back when. I mean, I remember watching Pinky and the Brain and the Animaniacs and stuff like that. Like I was watching that when I was a kid. I don't know. Like, is that really in the 80s though?
It's like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because if I was watching it, it had to be like around the early 90s, I'd say. But I mean, I could be completely wrong. I think it's funny because I think the Animaniacs were made somehow with Paul Dini. I'm trying to remember like who. I think Paul Dini helped out with it or something along those lines. I can't remember for sure though. I could be making that up.
I
completely.
love that show though. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, the first episode came out in 1993, like September 13th. I just looked it up now.
Yeah, but like old school like Bugs Bunny and stuff that's
oh
great.
Yeah, those are the home where like not Homer Simpson. Oh my God, where Elmer Fudd is like it's rabbit season and he's like hunting him and stuff.
We very quiet.
Yeah, those. Those are great.
And then Bugs Bunny would dress up as a girl, and Elmer Fudd would completely believe it, and then he'd just smack Elmer Fudd and run away. It was great. It was just slapstick comedy that no one else was really trying to do, and it was just great. I love that stuff. But Chris, if you had to pick a honorable mention, what's another place you would go to?
Ooh.
Out of anything you ever watched on TV, seen a movie, anything like that. Could even be like a real place, just set in like the MCU or anything like that.
Honorable mention. Oh man, I only thought of like these 5. I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
I think I have 2.
Well, what are your 2? Maybe it'll spark some in my brain. Maybe I'll think of something.
Well, the first one I thought of was the high school / town from The Breakfast Club. I think it's Sherman or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that movie, and honestly, that would be amazing to go experience. And it's kind of a town that doesn't really exist, and the idea that everybody it might have been tough to do, but they broke down cliques, and how hard is that to do nowadays? So John Bender, and then a wrestler and a goth and a geek, and they all just come together, and so I think that would be a cool experience, and I think it seemed like a cool town at least. It'd be, I don't know. I mean, that's why it wasn't on my top 5, because, I don't really know much about the town, what's going on outside of the high school. But another one would definitely be Angel Grove from the Power Rangers. That would be cool.
I haven't seen that much of the Power Rangers. I'm not the
it's from Mighty Morphin,
Gotcha.
the original.
I liked New York from Futurama.
Yes.
Futurama was a classic show for me when I was younger, and I used to watch it before I went to bed and stuff. And I always thought it was cool. They're just futuristic city, even Gotham, Beyond kind of thing. Where Batman Beyond goes to. And I know Gotham is a really bad place, but just any kind of futuristic city to me is interesting. and seeing the technology grow over time. As like a mass comm major like myself, it'd be cool to see what technology they'd have in like years to come, like years later, in the future. So New York I think is definitely one of them.
Party with Bender and Fry, then go visit the heads of all the presidents and everything.
I was just saying hi to Alec from Club. Yeah. Shout out to Alec.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Comic Book Club. But, yeah, no, I do agree. That would be a really cool thing to see, New York. I mean, is there any other places that stick out in your mind?
Oh, man. It's very tough to think, because like when you kind of take in pop culture, like take in either shows, movies, whatever, comics, sometimes you don't really think about the settings as much. You really are focused on the characters. So for me, like, this was kind of hard when I was like thinking of these things. I was like, I never really thought about where I'd want to go. I think about like the characters and stuff more or less. So it was difficult for me to put this list together. And like as I went through it, I'm like, I really need to start paying more attention to the settings. And I don't know. I think it'd be cool to go somewhere in like medieval times.
That would be cool.
Like a medieval like Renaissance, though, like not like a Renaissance fair that you see today, but like a real life Renaissance that you can go to someplace. I don't know where it would be. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Heath Ledger's A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, I love that movie. That would be a lot of fun. Like, I just love the medieval like times, and I love the knights and the jesters and all that stuff, and the what's it called when you have like the big spear and jousting. I love that stuff. That's just interesting to me, and I don't know. I'm a big Robin Hood fan too, so there's that, and then obviously that's my love for Green Arrow coming out, and like everything.
That's why I can see now why you're a big Vigilante fan.
Yeah, man,
it's grown.
Yeah, it has. Well, definitely like an actual Renaissance fair, like like not one from today, but like back then.
Oh yeah,
and it'd be fun to throw axes or like shoot arrows, and I would have so much fun there.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I think this whole topic came from I was talking with someone else in WRKC here and in the radio station, and I was like trying to think of different ideas to put up on the poll. And the first two came really easy. I think both of us came, both you and I came up with, and your girlfriend as well came up with the idea of top 5 most infamous villains of pop culture. I mean, that would have been a really cool topic to talk about as well. I wish at some point we could, but we have one show left besides this, which is already set in stone, the topic. But I mean, that would have been cool too. Our pop culture bucket lists, stuff like seeing Action Comics #1 in person, holding it, that kind of that would have been really cool to talk about as well. But this was all in all a really cool topic to talk about because we're getting ready for graduating, and it's going to be the summertime. So where do you go on vacation?
As far as my bucket list, just to go back to that real quick, I'd love to be in a room with Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy and have them only respond to me in conversation with their Batman and Joker voices, because that'd be a treat and a half, guys. That's on my bucket list. Like, it'll probably never happen, but I'd want it to.
Oh, so, yeah, of course. Well, speaking of Mark Hamill and the Joker, if you guys checked out on YouTube and all different social medias, this just leaked. Injustice 2 Joker footage. So Joker either is, I don't know if he's still alive or from another dimension or whatever, but this Joker is back and he's in Injustice 2. Gameplay looked great. Unfortunately, doesn't sound like it's Mark Hamill's voice. Maybe he'll have Mark Hamill's voice in a different skin. Who knows? But dude, I would love to get that.
They did do, for Green Arrow, they did do Arrow, and they got Stephen Amell to record, so I could see them doing something like that if they wanted to. That's if Mark Hamill really wants to as well.
Apparently both him and, Mark Hamill and, God, why am I blanking on the name? We literally just said the name for Batman. Kevin Conroy. Both of them are in the studio supposedly working on video games or something. I don't know if it's together or not, but it could be for some sort of Arkham game, whether it's in between Origins and Asylum, or it could be a Damien game that they were talking about. There's a lot of rumors, leaked information on Reddit, and not everything can be true though. I mean, I'm very I'm excited for whatever comes out of it though, as long as it's good.
I agree.
And with that, also another big announcement today was the Call of Duty World War II trailer that was dropped. Pre-order ASAP, you get that beta. And let me tell you guys, this looks amazing. The cinematographic artwork of this game, it looks almost like real life. And the trailer said in-game footage. So this is the real deal, guys. If you don't have a Xbox One or PS4 or PS4 Pro, pick one up. Buy this game. It is finally Call of Duty going back to boots on ground rather than that, in my opinion, stupid futuristic robots and exoskeleton running on walls, futuristic guns, baloney.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the Call of Duty trailer. I'm not a big Call of Duty guy. I did like World War when it first. I think that's the first game that ever came out for 360, like Call of Duty wise.
World at War.
World at War. I did like that a lot. My favorite was Modern Warfare. That was just so much fun when you got in the ghillie suit and you got to snipe that guy from like super far away with like a 50 cal rifle. Like, it was intense, man. It was so much fun. Me and my buddy back in the day used to have a lot of fun playing that. But I might have to check this trailer out. The Nick's like really talking highly of it.
I mean, you see like D-Day, you see tanks. It was literally putting you in the first person as you watched like your own people getting hit by bullets and stuff like that, and planes were exploding. It was nuts.
I mean, trailers are trailers. I just don't want this to be another Call of Duty, like, I'm going to spit the game out after, like, 6 months of working on it kind of thing. I want it to, like, good games take time and take years to, like, really develop well, character, story, and all, and set it in, like, atmosphere and things like that. So I really hope that if this game gets released and it's as, good as you make it sound, I hope that it, like, lives up to that hype.
Well, November 3rd comes out. Go pre-order it, guys, ASAP. But so with that, before we sign off, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about as well coming up in the next couple weeks. I mean, Free Comic Book Day.
Guardians 2 comes out next Friday. Free Comic Day the next day. We're going to Comics on the Green, at least like I am. I definitely want to hit that
I'll be there with you, man.
And like Tom Darenick's going to be there. Shout out to him. He's drawn Injustice Comics. I'm sure a lot of other stuff.
And stuff for us as well.
He drew the Batman v Superman mech suit for Nick, and
I think it was The Dark Knight Returns 3, issue number 1. I had a blank cover.
Yeah, that was really sick. I had him draw the Regime Flash from Injustice throwing a lightning bolt, because I think that's just really cool.
Yeah.
And he only drew like the torso part because his Flash was moving so fast. I thought it's awesome. I want to get that framed as soon as I can, and I love that drawing. And I can't wait to hope I get another commission from him this time around. But yeah, lots of good stuff coming up. Wonder Woman eventually coming out, I think in June, I want to say. I'm not kind of sure about the date. I'm excited for that because it's like that first superheroine film in like a long time, and I really hope it's good.
I'm excited for that as well. I want to see that. Guardians. There's 2 movies between that I'm very excited for. Guardians Volume 2, and of course, Spider-Man Homecoming, July 7th, 2017. I'm counting down the days.
Can you tell, guys? He knew the date off the top of his head. I mean,
it's also my phone lock screen, so.
Oh.
I mean, what can I say? This is honestly the best choice for Spider-Man in God knows how long besides Spider-Man 2.
I'm looking forward to Michael Keaton's Vulture.
Yeah.
What Michael Keaton's going to bring to this movie. Definitely, for sure. Like, I'm so excited.
I cannot wait, guys. I mean, but Guardians Volume 2, we'll talk a little bit more about it when we sign off, but this movie looks so fantastic with, Kurt Russell, Sylvester Stallone, Michael Rooker, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, and Dave Bautista. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's more characters that I didn't list even in there that are like such big names. But, I mean, they're bringing in Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. Come on.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what they do for these like characters that they're bringing in, because obviously the normal Guardians have already been established, and I'm excited to see where this movie goes and what it does, and maybe even seeing a little bit of Thanos would be cool. I think that'd be awesome. mean, he was
Whether it's
showing
after credits or something.
Yeah, I'm down for either. Thanos is great. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with him. Obviously, Infinity War will come out later on in years to come. But yeah,
well,
definitely looking forward to.
Rumor here. Infinity War is going to come out, and Zoe Saldana said, they didn't want to say what the name of Part 2 of Infinity War is going to be, the next Avengers movie, because they say it spoils the movie. I don't think it does, honestly, but Zoe Saldana spilt some beans accidentally, saying that they just finished filming Infinity War, and I have to go back in I think she said August or whatever it was to go do Gauntlet. She just said Gauntlet.
I mean, that just means Thanos gets the gauntlet and with the Infinity Gems, and he has to get the Infinity Gems. That's not really that to me. That's awesome to hear. I don't think it spoils much because if you think about what you saw Thanos put on the glove, and by now, if you don't know that Thanos his whole thing is with the Infinity Gauntlet, you should probably do some research because that's pretty much his thing.
So. My mind is set on it's probably Avengers: The Infinity Gauntlet, that, or maybe Rise of the Gauntlet or something like that, like something along the lines of with Infinity Gauntlet. That, or it's just how the Han Solo anthology movie is going to be called, or has been called Red Solo Cup, or Red Cup, I should say, because Red Solo Cup, Han Solo. So they're that's the code name for the movie. So I think maybe Gauntlet is just a code name. Who knows?
Han Solo, Red Solo Cup. I can't do it. All right.
That's what it said on the little thing. The director took a picture of it.
I know. I just can't. I can't do it.
It said Red Cup.
All right. Well, Nick, why don't you do us the
honors of
signing off
before I say something else stupid. But thank you all for joining us. Again, this has been Geek Week with Chris and Nick. Once again,
I'm Chris Natale.
And I'm Nick Rotundo.
Once again, if you'd like to hear any of our old episodes, guys, be sure to check out our YouTube account, which is posted on our Facebook at www.facebook.com/geekweek885. Be sure to like us on there, subscribe to our channel, and share with all your family and friends. We really appreciate it. Be sure to check us out on our Instagram account as well at geekweek885.
And be sure to tune in next week, and you will hear our 25th and most likely last episode ever of Geek Week here on WRKC. We'll be talking all about Guardians of the Galaxy in preparation for the upcoming movie Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with a special guest from WRKC. We'll see we'll see who you think it is. We'll figure it out. But I'm very excited for that episode. Made a special little logo for you guys for the Facebook page, which I hope you guys like. But I'm very excited about that topic, and it's our 25th episode, dude.
Yeah, 25 shows went by just like that. It's
insane. 1 year entirely. We started, September, I think?
Mm-hmm, September.
And 25 episodes.
I know, man. It's crazy. Time flies by, and sooner or later we're going to be graduating. And I know you don't want to hear it, but it's going to happen, and it's coming fast. We're done classes next week, and before you know it, we'll be there.
Oh yeah. So with that, come back next week. Tune in, and we'll see you there, guys.
That was Geek Week with Chris and Nick. Be sure to tune in next week at 6 p.m.